This afternoon, I'm just sitting in my office and hearing snowblowers blowing outside. It's Sunday afternoon. We're all snowed in on Snowmageddon, and thought I'd just kind of give you a little piece of my heart today. I just got done recording a episode for my podcast on the themes that we kind of hold on this channel, and you've been kind of reignited my podcast under the same name, if you want to look that up, Restoring My Path, on all the different streaming services. But I was thinking about the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, you always heard that encourage, just looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. And what if the light at the end of the tunnel is a train? Can you picture the old remember the old Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner cartoons, someone going through the tunnel and all of a sudden next thing you know, a train's coming at you from the other direction. And I wanted to kind of be honest with you today and just kind of give you my thoughts about where I have been in the last few months and see if you can resonate with this. If you've ever been through tragedy or hardship or struggles, you might relate to this. But that light at the end of the tunnel, that hope, that potential of goodness or reprieve or warmth or restoration or regrowth or healing, by getting out of this tunnel, that darkness, and reaching out and getting back into the light. I was thinking, sometimes I've gotten very comfortable at hiding in the darkness because I don't know what's on the other side of that tunnel. I don't know what's waiting for me outside of this known darkness that I have found myself in sometimes, through depression, through anxiety, through grief, through failures. I do know that in this darkness, that if I hunker down and I just cover my head and I put my head in the sand and I hide in this darkness, well, maybe I'll be okay. Because I know if I were to venture out of this tunnel and I were to venture out of this darkness, I don't know what next tragedy or trial or trouble or struggle or hardship or brokenness that I'll have to face if I step out of this tunnel's end. And this is something that I've been wrestling with over the last few months, and I've been really struggling because I'm afraid that if I were to push forward and push into the unknown, that I might find myself in another level of brokenness, another potential hurt, another potential problem, another potential heartbreak or failure or wounding or brokenness. And so I hide. I hunker down in this darkness and I just protect myself. I surround myself with those I love, and I build walls around us, and I try and cocoon myself, hoping that if I just stay in this darkness, nothing bad will happen again. And that's such a hard place to be. And if you've ever been through any type of struggle or hurt or problem or trial, sometimes we get that mindset that if I were to just hide myself in this, it may be dark, it may be cold, it may be damp, it may be hard, it may be fearful, but I might be more afraid what's waiting for me on the other side of this hurt, the other side of this darkness. By stepping out of this tunnel, I might find myself in another wave of tragedy, another tsunami of life. And I got to thinking about that. And I think far too often, if we're not careful, we'll try and hide ourselves from living because we're afraid if we were to pursue living, then we might end up in more brokenness. Another hurt may come, another life may be lost, another failure may hit us, another major disappointment or setback of life may come. But can we be honest? What if it didn't? What if on the other side of that tunnel, what if the other side of that end of that tunnel, that light, there's hope, and there's goodness, and there's light, and there's healing, and there's growth? Can I just encourage you today that while we may fear the unknown of stepping forward, what we should fear more is the not living of life by hiding away from life. I remember the first year of us processing our son's death, I hid from the grief. I hid from the emotion. I hid from those dark, heavy waves. And it just compounded and made it a whole lot worse because I got stuck. I got mired down and not processing my grief. My wife and I have a dream of starting a helps ministry, a crisis home for grieving people. And over the last year, we've put together all the things necessary, the nonprofit documents, lined up insurances, written everything's in line, that if I were just to pull the trigger, if I were just to pull the ripcord, if I were to just put the car in drive, we could get that motion going and we could do something great and actually potentially help people. But there's also the fear that, yeah, but what if it just doesn't work? What if I just fail again? What if rather than people listening to me, see how those things work? And the fear of the unknown of stepping out of this dark tunnel's end withholds me inside the fear of growing and living and life and hope and peace and restoration. Don't fear the end of the tunnel. That's what I was thinking today. And if you want to look up our podcast, if you like podcasts, it's under the same name, Restoring My Path. If we could just learn that, yes, there is the potential of the unknown being hurtful, but that's life. There's no guarantee. But there's no guarantee if I hide from life, and I hide from living, and I hide from moving forward, that hard times might happen anyway. Let's move forward in life, get some hope, and I think it might be a big help to you. We'll talk about this more later. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.